Hey, Creative Saints, welcome to another episode of the Creative Saints podcast.
Welcome.
Should we introduce ourselves, or do you think that we just assume that everyone knows who we are already?
I think people know who we are, but there's probably a lot of people who don't know who we are. I'm Josh.
I'm Victoria.
And we have been doing this. This will be episode 31.
Took a little hiatus that was unplanned.
It was unplanned,
but it was good. It was a reset, I think, that we needed.
It was a reset. Life shifted a little.
Schedule shifted. School started.
Yeah. We needed a little regroup.
Yeah.
So we regrouped.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And I think that in all honesty, the past couple of weeks, we didn't plan on taking a 2-week break, but we did. What are we going to dive back in and talk about that's going to make it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And then this came up the other day.
Right.
And I think that I was even surprised at how passionate I was about this topic. So
we had like a late morning coffee after we had crushed for, 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you sat down and started going. And I said, hold on. Just what you were saying was so poignant and so important to say that I was like, we can't miss this. And I don't want to contentize our conversations, but what you said was like,
you said, stop, I have to record this.
I did say, can you go back and say that again?
Yeah.
There was just something so intense and passionate about that.
Yeah.
That was important to share beyond our conversation.
So what we're going to talk about today is marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I
Don't leave yet.
I think that what I tend to do is avoid this topic because a few years ago, what was everyone going to school for? Communications and marketing. That's what everyone was in school for. And because I didn't go to school for it, and maybe I don't have all of the educational terminology and things like that, and like actual statistics and I kind of tend to avoid this topic. However, it's been coming up a lot lately in our work and with our friends and people who are trying to figure out, what do I do? And so specifically around the idea of church marketing, I think that this is something that we don't talk about enough because we hire people in the church to do marketing that went to school for marketing.
Right.
Love that. However, it's just different.
It's not textbook.
Not the same.
Lay the path, follow the path.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not the same. And I think that there is an understanding that's happening right now where churches are like, what do I do? It's not just about how often you post on social media and all of those things. So we're going to dive into that because I didn't even realize how passionate I was about it. But then yesterday, I remembered something that I wrote in 2021. And so this is kind of funny because as we were talking the other day, I was like, man, why am I so passionate about this? And then I remembered this and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been passionate about this for years.
It's something you have brought up from time to time at different churches through the years.
Yeah.
Not that it's been like a burning core, but you've brought it up a lot.
Yeah. So this is something that, this was, oh my gosh, it was September 21st. So it was almost a year ago, or not a year ago, but to the day 4 years ago. I heard someone say today that the church is competing with Kim Kardashian. The idea is that if we want people to come to church, we have to compete with the world for their souls, use the same tools and platforms, but just for our church instead.
Mm-hmm.
I get the sentiment, the longing for people to love Jesus as much as they enjoy their sin. I clearly was feeling very bold.
Spicy.
And I love good marketing, but this just won't leave my spirit. He is not competing with anyone. We do not have to offer salvation through the lens of pop culture in order to reach people. He is enough on his own. Jesus and only Jesus. And it's kind of funny to hear me I must have been feeling very passionate. So this was probably around the time that Skims had some big marketing campaign and someone said, we're competing with this. And the idea is that we're not like, we have to be as good as, or we have to offer the same
Right.
things, or we have to make sure that our social media is on par with, not Kim Kardashian, but just you name the corporation, right?
Right.
And I just disagree so wholeheartedly with the idea that any church is competing with the world.
Right. There's a whole, you can't, we talked about this, you and I, like 6 months ago,
Mhm.
maybe, where marketing and communications is way different in the
Mhm.
church world than how it needs to function in the church world. The church world functions
Mhm.
not as a marketing department, but as how do we communicate and how do we creatively create stuff that go with the heartbeat of our church?
Yeah.
How do we communicate the visual with what's being said inside of service and through?
Mhm.
So, communications and the creative visual aspect is so important because it has to be a creative embodiment and
Mhm.
visual representation of how is the church moving? What is the culture?
Yeah.
What is the community? What is the your entire community outside of
Mhm.
just the congregation? What is the feel?
Mhm. Something that I remember hearing years and years and years ago when I was first kind of getting on like the business end of church, um, was, and this wasn't in regards to church, so just tell me
Hmm.
if you agree or not, actually. Marketing is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So this is what you're telling people about who you are. And advertising is the medium you use to tell them. So whether it's a billboard on the side of the
Hmm.
road, whether it's your social media campaign, your mailer, your whatever, that's the advertising
Yeah.
aspect. And then marketing is what are you putting on that
Hmm.
billboard? What are you actually wanting to tell people about who you are and what you're doing? And that would be the
Yeah.
same for, not just, that's not in regards to church. That's just in
Right.
regards to marketing and advertising. But
Overall, I would agree with that for the most
yeah.
part. But when it comes to a church,
Mhm.
your people
Mhm.
are your billboards. Your people
Yeah.
are your, and the way that churches want to, I'm going to slap my logo on something and I'm going to say, come to our church. Come,
Mhm.
people are not going to see your logo on a church and just come
Yeah.
through the doors. They're not going to care.
Yeah.
The person wearing that
Mhm.
needs to be the one engaging with them, having conversation, building it, inviting.
This is so funny. I feel like I have all these memories coming back of like things I've learned, right? I heard this pastor one time say that he saw a church bus and it was like had their logo on it and probably a scripture or
Mhm.
something, It was like what their youth group was driving around in to go to
Yeah.
like conferences and stuff. And um the slogan underneath said, "Come and see what God is doing." And he was so, like, angry at that
Mhm.
statement, and he as he was preaching, he was like, "I know whoever's church fan that is, like,
Right.
here in the room." He said, "That is not their responsibility to walk through the doors on their own. It is
No.
our responsibility as the church to take what we're experiencing to them." And
Yeah.
that has always been so poignant to me, and, like, it's not it's not just our job to get them in the doors. Like, that's not the job of the church. The job of the church is not to get them in a church door.
No.
The job of the church is to show people Jesus. That is the point. And yes, the way we do that and the way that we offer growth and the way that we offer like the whole faith process might be through classes and it's through baptism and it's through, yes, there are things in relation to Jesus that are going to
Mhm.
happen within the church. I'm not saying people shouldn't come to church. I'm just saying our expectation shouldn't be that that is the be all end all for our marketing campaign.
Yeah.
I-
Here's a here's a card. Come to my church.
yes.
It's I think where it really differentiates is coming to church
Hmm.
is not something that someone who doesn't already want to go to church is like, I'm going to go to church.
Right.
Most of the time, someone who gets online, sees something on social media, has been engaged by someone at that church,
Yeah.
at someone from a church
Like they've thought somehow
who's
to
come
look it up.
out.
Yeah.
They've had questions, they've whatever.
Hmm.
Um, they're not going to just magically come through the doors because you had your logo on a t-shirt or you
Hmm.
had a slogan on a t-shirt or You gave them an invite card. Like, those things are important.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. We have a whole synopsis here organized, but clearly we're very passionate about this.
And I put my phone down, so
The the goal of a church when it comes to marketing
yeah.
should be screw the word marketing,
Mhm.
and we need to be community building,
We need to
or
be the
we
hands
need
and
to
feet of
be
Jesus.
something.
Yeah.
The idea that so many people in leadership in churches across the country, we've
Mhm.
worked with a lot of churches, and I've had a couple pastors lately that I've been able to say, I think that's actually a wrong way of thinking. Think about it this way.
Mhm.
And not to toot my own horn, but they have been very receptive to, I never thought about that. I'm going to hire a communications person, but I never thought about it's different.
Mhm.
Like, I know it's different. As a pastor, I know that I need to train that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I did a follow up with one of these pastors a few days ago, and he was like, I'm having a hard time getting my marketing person, my communications director, to understand that we aren't a marketing department. We're communicating to the community.
Yeah.
But all that we're focusing on when we focus on marketing
Mhm.
is giving an invite card or something and saying,
Yeah.
come in our doors, come in our doors, come in our doors. You've entirely missed the point of Jesus at that point. The whole thing is go out and shepherd, go out and spread the good
Mhm.
news, go out, go out, go out. Sometimes I have this is a very big admission. I have a hard time with four walls
Yeah.
because we build this fortress, we build this safe place, we
Mhm.
build this castle, whatever we want to call it, that's our
Yeah.
safe place. Come in here and I'll love you.
Yeah.
Come in here and I'll
Well,
tell you about
no,
Jesus.
it's even worse is come in here and Jesus will love you.
Right.
And that's sometimes the impression that our marketing gives off.
Marketing is for Coca-Cola to sell products at Target.
Okay, so let's stop church bashing because that really isn't.
I don't think
No,
it's church bashing.
no, I'm not saying.
It's tearing the whole ideal that we can use
Yeah.
traditional marketing tactics built by corporations, structured by corporations, because that's where they're built. That's where we're getting them from. That's what ChatGPT is pulling them from.
Yes.
And let's actually put some living experience, some
Hmm.
living. What do we need to do? If you go to the Bible and you look at what we should do, it's pretty clear what we do. So we have the purpose and the directive.
Hmm.
With a marketing campaign, you don't really have a directive of, I want to sell a Coca-Cola. Well, cool, awesome. But
Yeah.
how are you going to sell a Coca-Cola? All right, we can figure it all out from there. How do I show someone the love of Jesus? It is not by getting them in the doors.
It's not. And I think that this is where maybe churches lack resources sometimes because not sometimes. I mean, I think that we've missed the mark on this. There are so many church conferences and church things that you can go to and you can sign your teams up for and
Right.
you can send them out to all the things. But a lot of those places are going to be giving you corporate techniques for marketing because somebody in their
Hmm.
church worked at somewhere else and they like I just think that we have to start shifting because it's not working well enough. I
Churches are
think.
so hell-bent on using Starbucks corporate structure for
Mhm.
everything
Yeah,
because it's worked,
yeah,
but I think it's because somebody who is a creative worked at Starbucks while they were going to college,
sure.
and they see that as fruitful, and so they're bringing it along, and nobody knows any different, so they're
Yeah.
bringing it. So yes, we're flipping the script. We're saying traditional corporate marketing does not work in your church. It doesn't work in your church. It doesn't work in my church. It doesn't work in their church. It does not work. At some point, it doesn't work.
Okay. So then the question is why? Why does it have to be different?
You have the answer to this, so I'm
I
just going to let you go.
I know the answer. Because it's inauthentic.
Hmm.
I think at the core, that is the reason why it does not work. Corporate marketing is all about sales
Hmm.
tactics. Corporations are okay with lying a little bit to get you to buy their product. Coca-Cola is
Marketing is
fine.
deception,
It's all deception.
manipulation.
I don't know why we're bashing Coke. They should sponsor us, but at this
You
point.
want to sponsor Coke?
Um,
Actually, Spindrift should sponsor us, but I
yes.
think they're owned by Coke.
So anyways, let's just use this stupid analogy. When you see a Coke commercial and everyone's hanging out on their skateboards and it's summertime and the Coke is refreshing, It's not true. They're in a soundstage.
Mhm.
They're spraying the bottle with a mister because it's not actually hot outside. It's all a lie. So, at its core, corporate marketing is a lie. It is meant to
Mhm.
deceive you into purchasing a product. Okay.
So I
That's
think
why it doesn't.
deceiving is hard. It's manipulating your thought
Yeah,
process to spend your money.
I don't think the people listening to our podcast are stupid. They're going to know what I mean. Like it's it's deception. Let's just call it that.
Mhm.
It's deception.
Yeah.
If you are using those tactics for your church, I'm not saying that you're going to fake baptize people to get people to come in the doors and get baptized. But if those are the models that we're following,
Yeah.
we really have to rethink. Stop laughing at me. Am I being too harsh?
No, I love this is what I hit record on yesterday or the other day.
I think that we are overinflating
Mhm.
what is truly happening in our churches as a way to get people in the doors. So here's here we go. Here's my path. Here's the trajectory in my in my mind. I, as a church staff member, see a problem at the church. Okay, so what is that? Is it we don't have enough knowledgeable people in this area. We
Yeah.
don't have enough people serving. We don't have enough people, you name it.
Mhm.
Generally, we don't have enough people or we don't have the right people
Right.
is a problem that is seen.
Yeah.
How do we solve that problem? We get more people and new people
Mhm.
into the church. How do we get them into the church? We tell them all of the amazing things that are happening in our church.
Yeah.
So we're going to sell them.
Mhm.
Let's just say we have to use
Yeah.
these words, right? We're going to sell them on our church. So our social media has to look good. Our
Mhm.
website has to look good. All of these things are true. I am not saying that there is anything wrong with any of these problems and the trajectory that we get to the point of like, we
Yeah.
have to get more people in our
Right.
church. I don't think that's where we should start. I don't think that's a reason we should want to get more people in our church. But nonetheless, I think these are actual problems that churches face. Either
Right.
we need more people, we need new people, we need people with different skill sets, we need more money to do a thing. So we need more
Right.
people that are tithe paying. Like it all kind of comes back to like, we need more people in the doors.
But
Now,
it's putting time into building a social media that communicates what is
okay,
it like in the church?
so
How do we reach the community?
that's what I'm saying though. I think we start at the wrong place.
Yeah.
I
No, I
think we
completely agree.
start with that right there. So many churches start with that. I need more people.
Mhm.
So I need to make my church look like
Right.
it is exciting so that people will come.
Yeah.
Instead of, well, let me pause, go back. What that causes is an overinflation of what is truly happening in your church.
Yeah.
So now we've lost some authenticity along the way because I'm not saying everything everybody posts for churches is inauthentic, but I think when you start with, I need more people in the doors, the path to inauthenticity is very quick
Mhm.
because now I just am like, I have a goal and I'm going to reach the goal
Mhm.
versus God is moving in our church and we want to show people what God is doing so that their lives are changed also.
Right. But focusing on getting them in the doors it's like the core problem.
I agree.
The core problem of all of
Hmm.
this is focusing on come into my four walls, come to my church, come hear my pastor, come hear our word. Like,
Hmm.
that's the core problem. It's, we're not the mission laid out in the Bible, very clear.
Hmm.
We're not focusing on that. We're
Hmm.
focused on where in the Bible does it say get people into the four walls of the church? It doesn't.
Hmm.
So if we're focused on that, we're completely missing the point from the
Yeah.
get-go, which is why this is a problem. That's why we don't understand that. So we're tangenting and we're going,
Yeah.
let's use corporate marketing strategy that
Yeah.
works. Let's go. Let's go. Let's um get everybody into something we know
Yeah.
works. It works for Coke.
Yeah.
Let's use it. It works for
Hmm.
Target. Let's use it.
Yeah.
We completely lose the focus.
Think that I mean, I completely agree. We I think we just start at the wrong place often. And I mean, we kind of talked about this when we were originally talking about
Mm-hmm.
this. I think that what social media has done to churches is it has made people think that what I'm highlighting on social media needs to look like that other church.
So the comparison mindset.
I think that that really
Mm-hmm.
does play. And I have been a part of that. I see something cool on social media.
Yeah.
I send it to our social media person so that, hey,
Mhm.
this was a really cool thing that they did. Can we do
Right.
something like this? I don't know that that is the best way for me to lead or to
But I
do anything because is it authentic to what our church is doing?
mimicking
Mhm.
is not a good way to go.
Mhm.
Taking an idea that you see
Mhm.
and implementing it. Okay, let's back up. So if you see something, you can be inspired by it.
Mhm.
That's why, let's take this. Let's go back to creatives, graphic designers. If you're copying what someone else is doing, it's not good.
Mhm.
If like you're copying them.
Mhm.
If you're taking what someone else is doing on social media and you are just doing the same exact thing, you're not doing something that's authentic to your community and
Yeah.
your church.
Yeah.
We are just completely taking someone else's idea and putting our colors and our logo on it and our phrase on it. It's not bringing people into your church. So we're spinning our wheels to make something, to put work into something, to spend resource on something that doesn't actually match us.
Mhm.
It doesn't fit our vision. It
Yeah.
doesn't fit any of the heartbeat of our community. And so what are we doing it
Yeah.
for? And I think that's where
Yeah.
the biggest problem lies with using corporate marketing versus how churches should communicate to the community is we're not communicating. We're just, well, that was there.
Mhm.
Someone will see it and they'll move past it. So we've not
Yeah.
accomplished anything. So
We think it's such a big fix though, and I don't know where that has come from. And I think it's just in the world of social media. We think that um if we use the trending music and if we do the
mhm,
thing, then that is the fix to X, Y, or Z problem.
yeah,
And it's just not. And something that I'm feeling really passionate about is that authenticity, right?
yeah,
And so baptisms are amazing and they're meant to be
yeah,
celebrated. 1000%. Okay. So hear my heart here where I'm going. If your church isn't baptizing that often, it's okay that you don't have that on social media.
right.
Maybe baptisms isn't the move of God that is happening in your church right now. Maybe that is a part of a
Mhm,
sanctification process in someone's life and they're not there yet. Okay, that's fine. So maybe let's not continue to talk on social media about how important baptisms are
right,
in your church. Maybe we highlight something else. What is God doing in your church?
right. So
And so,
focus on the actual moves of
yeah,
God that are happening, the actual things that are happening.
yeah. I
Did
think we
you?
inflate and we try to like fabricate what God is actually doing in our churches rather than focusing on what is he actually doing in our churches. Maybe he's really dealing with people's hearts right now. What's happening? You as the pastor should know that I'm maybe we don't have pastors listening. Pastors should know where where's God's hand right now in our church. He should have a pretty good read on what God is doing in the church. And so if you as the marketing director don't know, you need to go talk to your pastor and say, "Hey, I really want to be authentic to our community about what God is doing in
Right.
our church. Can you talk to me about what you feel like God is doing?" There should be a clear answer for that.
I
Hey,
think that's the breakdown in communications. That's
yeah.
why a communications director is so much more important than a marketing director
Mhm.
because it's communicating internally. What are we doing? It's communicating to the people who aren't in your church. What are we doing to outreach?
Yeah,
It should all tie in together.
it should. Yeah.
And if it's not, like the move of God may be you're consistently having 10, 20 new people a week.
Mhm.
That may seem so small to some
Mhm.
people, but that's a huge move of God in your church. Worship may be going long because people are getting lost in the presence of God. Um, People may be getting baptized at a large rate. Homeless people, maybe they're coming in. Drug addicts, whatever it is, like maybe people are memorizing scripture and really
Mhm.
putting on the armor of God.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the move of God that's happening to prepare for what you're walking into in a growing season.
Hmm.
Not
But
everybody's in a growing
but
season.
even that stuff can feel big. Let's think about some of these really tiny churches. They're not seeing any of that right now.
Right.
Maybe the best thing that they're seeing is at 9:30, they've got 10 people in the lobby drinking coffee together
Yeah.
out of styrofoam
Yeah.
cups.
No, that's,
I It is
it doesn't have to
okay
be
if
grandiose.
that is all that's happening because community is happening and where two or three are gathered. Can we focus on that one good
Yeah.
thing? Maybe you don't have very many people in your sanctuary and your pastor is just maybe you're a pastor and you don't have a marketing or
We do have pastors
communications
listening, by the
director.
way.
But I'm just saying, like, again, we inflate this. Not everybody has a social media team. So, what should I post about our church? What should I say about what God is doing? You should say what God is doing. Paul did not go and write some made up fairy tale about the move of God. He wrote about what was
Yeah.
happening in Corinth. And sometimes they didn't want to hear it,
Yeah.
but people were still being saved consistently and in large numbers. Like, I just think that we want to like fabricate this idea that we're experiencing revival in our church when maybe we're not. That doesn't mean
That's,
revival isn't happening. It just means that maybe all of the colleges aren't emptying into your sanctuary. That's okay.
revival is I think we've made revival more grandiose. We're having this move of God, and God is moving in one step. He has a whole plan,
Hmm.
and we're one step. And we're like, oh my God, God's moving. It's a revival. Well, maybe you took one step, and God's like, hey, I got like 9 other steps here for you to go before you hit revival. But
Hmm.
cool, celebrate, but keep going.
I just think we get the term revival wrong.
Revival
It
has
means an
become
awakening.
so,
It's a process. Like, and we think that it's an
that's
event. And it's not. Revival is a process. Revival is happening because God is moving. Like, and we make it this trigger word that we have to post like our church is in revival. Yeah,
but I think
revival
that started a
is
couple years ago when
it
there
did.
was that
Yeah.
college that had
The
one service that went on for a long time.
yeah.
I, amazing for that community.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean that because you have a 4-hour service that you had a revive. Like, there's a
Let's not
very,
get
right. I'm just saying, like,
it's
there
just
are other churches that have had, we've been part of churches that have done that. Like,
mm,
they have an 8-hour worship service and prayer, and like, that's an amazing, amazing, amazing special
yeah.
thing that God is doing.
Yeah.
But can we really say that's a revival in like a,
You don't know if something's a revival or not until you see the fruit of it.
right?
The fruit is the indicator of whether or not it was a revival.
Right. So
So,
the service ends and
yeah,
the community goes. And I do think that the
I
church we
just
were at, I
think
think it
revival
was
is a trigger word right now.
that service we were at that I'm
Mhm.
talking about. I do think amazing things happen from that. And
Mhm.
it was a
Yes.
awakening
Mhm.
in that community and
I
in
completely
people
agree.
there. I think it did a lot for us.
Yeah.
However, it's all over Twitter and Instagram. It's or X, whatever. It's all over everywhere.
Yeah.
Like a revival is happening. So I'm going to shift
Yeah.
gears here
Okay.
and I'm going to,
I feel like we've been really negative up to this point, but I just want to like, that's not what it is. I love all of the big spiritual churchy words. I love it. I get
and
it. I
we
feel it.
love,
It makes me emotional. I am Pentecostal to my core. So here we are. But like,
the corporate marketing structure.
I
Like,
love that
I,
too. Yeah.
we love both sides of this, but
Hmm.
it just doesn't work cohesively. It doesn't work together. So we can keep
Are you
going down
raising
there.
your hand?
We can keep going down there forever. But something that you said, and you kind of started with it, but you said this the
I
other
don't know
day,
what
and
you're
it
going to
really
say.
struck me was the church is not competing with corporations. You
Mm-mm.
are not competing with the coffee shop down the road. That is a stupid mindset, I'm gonna say.
Okay, so that's why I opened up with I
Right.
couldn't believe that I remembered I wrote that 4 years ago because I knew way less about marketing
Yeah.
then than I do now. We we ugh,
Because you make your livelihood on marketing now.
this drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. And I've sat in rooms where I have nodded my head like I agree with it. So let me just publicly say, I disagree with the thought that we are competing with corporations
Mhm.
for people's souls.
The
We're
the
not.
amount of
I don't
rooms
care what Target is doing. I'm going there to buy my toothpaste.
I don't care.
People aren't stupid. They don't think they're going into Target for their salvation. They're coming, they know what they're
You
coming to
know you're
church
going
for.
into a corporation with bad morals,
Oh,
and
it drives me nuts.
so the amount of rooms, Zoom calls, phone calls that we have sat in,
Hmm.
the sheer number of conversations where people have actually, in high levels of leadership, have said, we need to use the marketing tactics, we
Hmm.
need to use the whatever it is,
Hmm.
of that company down the road, or of this company, or I saw they were doing this,
Yeah.
we need to do that. The amount of leaders
Yeah.
who have thought that that is the
It's
right way to
the
go.
same. Yeah.
Uh, I'll give you our website in the description. You can come hire us to come help you. Uh, but it's
Yeah.
just not.
It's
It's
just
just
not.
not. It is
It's just not.
not. It is not the same at all. And if you try and fit that mold, it doesn't work. It's wild and will make you off course. And I think that's a big. I want to say that I'm going to pause there because I'm very passionate about this and very harsh about this, because I think
Yeah.
we need to flip the script. We need to flip the tables of how we're
Hmm.
selling from the church.
I'm not selling you clearance Jesus.
Yeah,
Like, how could it be the same?
this is salvation we're dealing with. So that's why I get irritated at, like, let's use marketing tactics. Well, it doesn't work when someone's soul and salvation and forever is
On the
hinged on
line.
that.
Yeah.
So what I think we need to do is we need to really focus on, why are we doing any of
Yeah.
this? Not to get more people to see the preacher's message, not
Right.
to get more people to stream online, not to get more people to come buy our church merch, not to
Hmm.
get more people to fill the parking lot or to fill the pews or the
Yeah.
chairs, or more people to tithe so we can buy more lights. It's none of that. It's literally for the singular reason of reaching the one lost soul who does not know the name of Jesus, who does not know they need salvation
Yeah.
to live eternally.
We say that's what it's for. We say it is, but I just don't know that we,
I would challenge someone to take a piece of paper and
yeah.
put 10 dots on it and put lost soul salvation at the end of it. And here we are right here, and connect the dots for me. How you're selling your,
Yeah.
like, let's do that. It's
Yeah.
literally that simple. This is such a simple thing
Hmm.
that we just overcomplicate.
Yeah.
And if we made it simple,
Hmm.
I think we would
I
have
think
more.
I think that's really the key, though. I think that we have overcomplicated this. We have sent our teams to conferences and we have brought in um, uh, professionals. We've contracted
Consultants.
consultants. We have
Mega
brought
church
in,
consultants are not going to fix your church's
and
problems.
they're not. And it's not to say that there's not good ideas. Ideas are fine. I think that we can use our A-frames and we can use our feather flags and we can
Hmm.
stand our people out front with signs. I am not saying that any of that is bad, but it's not the solve. Those
No,
things are
not
the
at all.
solve for community engagement. It's a different problem.
Yeah.
It's a different problem.
Yeah.
Our initial marketing on getting people to church, we've got to flip the script on this.
Yeah.
We've got to come back to the why.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think that that's the question that you should start with for anything that you do, any big campaign, any big like thing you're going to do, you're going to try and market,
Right.
you need to ask yourself why. Why am I making this church merch?
Yeah.
And people are asking for it. Great. Okay. They want it. Cool. Make it and sell it.
Mm,
I like, why am I doing this thing? Why am I posting this? Why does you need to come back to the pastor. The vision has to be the same.
yeah.
If you're off, here's the other thing. People aren't stupid.
No.
Consumers aren't stupid. If someone is not actively coming to church,
I think Jerry
there's
the
a
Cracker Barrel proved that.
um there's a reason they're not already a part of a church. Faith is not
Hmm.
young. There are churches all over the world that have been inviting people into them for years and years and
Yeah.
years. So we need to now figure out what's the hard issue
Hmm.
here, right? This comes in one-on-one conversations with people, community
Yep.
engagement, and all of those kinds of things. Your social media post isn't most likely is not going to get an unchurched person into church. It's
No.
going to be the why.
Mhm.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they did see something that sparked something in them, and they decided to make the decision to come to church on a Sunday. I'm not saying it never works or there's not ever a good way to do it, but like the why. We've got to come back. Here's the reason why we said post about what's actually happening in your church,
Mhm.
right? Because
It's easier.
well, one, it is easier.
You don't have to plan it.
True. You don't have to fabricate it. You don't have to like make something up and ask ChatGPT what you should do. You should just
Maybe
do it.
this comes down to being more proactive instead of reactive.
Well, yes. Okay, but hold on. I
Go ahead,
have a
sorry.
point. I don't
Okay,
want to forget it.
shut up.
Um, People aren't dumb. If you say something is happening in your church and you overinflate it and they come on a Sunday and that's not what they see
Not coming back.
and people
Yeah.
aren't friendly and people aren't smiling and the pastor isn't engaging and the worship wasn't very good, like
Mm.
maybe don't highlight things that aren't true
Mhm.
on your social media. If I come into a church and the worship sucks, but everybody in the lobby was friendly and there was a
Mhm.
true and genuine love of God in that
Yeah.
place, I don't really care what the worship sounded like
Right.
because I actually believe that God is here. If I come in and maybe the church isn't that friendly, but the pastor gets up and he addresses that fact
Yeah.
and he is actually challenging the congregation to love people more
Yeah.
and to be more, then I'm going, he sees what's happening in his lobby.
Right.
He understands and God is doing a work here.
Yeah.
Like people aren't dumb. They see these things. And it's not just because
But your pastor has to have
like
a vision, and your pastor has to be in tune with the heartbeat of the church and the congregation and
in the
community.
community, yeah,
For
100%.
that to happen,
Mhm.
your
It's
communications
a
person,
cyclical thing.
your
Yeah.
creative person, marketing, whatever, has to be in tune with what the move of God is,
Hmm.
but also with the pastor. The pastor has to trust the communications, creative, marketing person.
Yeah.
That's one of the most important relationships and
Hmm.
cycles for marketing and advertising and promoting your church
Hmm.
is communications, creative, marketing, pastor, and the
They
move
have
of
to work
God.
hand in hand. Yeah.
And your communications, marketing person, people, team, group,
Hmm.
hired, volunteer
Contracted, whatever. Yeah.
should be so in tune
Hmm.
and ready. There should
Yeah.
always be a phone out capturing
Yep.
something. There should always be someone writing notes down. There should always be someone, and I don't think pastors are always good about this, but when they
Hmm.
say something that's good that gets a reaction, remember that and repost that. Like
Yep.
say, hey, I said this and it really went over well. Let's make sure we share that on social media. That is the pastor's job.
Yeah.
You're shepherding and leading.
It's also the creative and communications person, though, to notice those things so that the
Right.
pastor doesn't have to think about it. But again, that's a very, like, it should be a very symbiotic
Right.
relationship,
Right.
conversations. We
Yep.
should know that this is what's happening. I think that comes more down to like team growth. There are those elements,
Yeah.
right, of like putting the right people in the right places,
Right, but
all of that.
when you don't have that or you don't know where to start, before you go and grab some online $99 marketing plan from Coca-Cola, just get in tune with what's happening.
Yeah.
If you are marketing or communications or creative or whatever in that area, get in tune with what is happening before you just take a job, before you take money, before you take a position or role.
Yeah.
Figure out how that works. You can't schedule a move of God.
Yeah.
You can't schedule how the Spirit of God is going to move. You can't schedule how your community is going to be encountered by God
Hmm.
and how they come into the building. You just have to be ready.
Yeah. Um, I also think that we put so much pressure on this.
Mhm.
And over the past few months, I have maybe, maybe it's my like, I want to go live in the middle of nowhere on a farm somewhere. Maybe it's that in me. I'm on social media. So like I get all of this. Like, but I think that we put so much pressure on having creative churches, having engaging churches, having
Mhm.
growing churches. All of these things are important. I'm not saying they're not important, but I think there is levels of importance.
Yep.
And I think it's different for every church.
Mhm.
There is not a blueprint for the church outside of Paul's letters, okay? Follow those
Yeah.
first. So let's do that. But I think that I also maybe I'm just going to say this. This is me going, if you're a pastor of a small church, just take some of the pressure off of yourself
Yeah.
because what you post on social media is not a true indicator of what is actually happening in your church. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be.
No.
I think there's room for growth. And yes, this is our marketing tool now. We don't really do
Right.
billboards and newsletters and mailers the way that we did 20 years
Mhm.
ago. So, like, okay, social media is our
There's a point to
calling
it.
card. Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I'm not saying it's pointless and not important. I think it is important. But I also think, like, can we work on our souls?
Mhm.
Can we work on our hearts? Can
Yeah.
we work on our heart posture? Can we make sure the people actually coming to church are good? Are you guys good?
Mhm.
Do you actually know what evangelism means?
Mhm.
They're the ones supposed to be evangelizing, not your
Right.
social media.
Yeah.
There should be so much God happening
Mhm.
in your church and in the hearts of your congregants that is how churches grow.
Yeah.
It isn't because of our social media,
No.
actually.
No.
Like,
It's an important thing to show a presence, but
yeah, be available.
we need to stop pretending
Mhm.
like we know what we're doing or
Yeah.
pretending like something is happening within the containment of four walls or in our community. We need to stop pretending and we need to start actually and being aware.
Mhm.
We need to start being aware
Mhm.
of what is actually happening. Have conversations. When you show up to church, show up 20, 30 minutes early,
Yeah.
engage with people.
Mhm.
When you're at the grocery
How
store,
are they
engage
actually
with
feeling?
people.
Yeah.
When you're at the restaurant, don't just dip out so that they know you left a bad tip, like, or they weren't a great server. Like, spend time talking to people. That's actually what we should be doing if we want to market our churches. And I would dare to say, we get paid to do this, we get contracted to do this, but I would dare to say it's more the congregation's responsibility
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
fulfill the marketing
Great commission?
of the church.
Yeah.
The church should be supporting cast in that
Mhm.
of, okay, you keep doing that. We are going to make invite cards and we're going to give them to you so that you do that.
Yep.
But
I think
printing
that's a
those
great
things,
way to put it. The church should be supporting the evangelism that's already happened.
but it's
Like,
not an evangelism department. It's not a
right.
evangelism pastor. It's not a,
I mean, it is if your church is big enough to need to, like, steward that in a different way.
it is, but
But
I think at this level,
yeah.
like they're mega churches, yeah, go with the corporate level. Like
Mhm.
they're going to do that because they have 12 campuses and they have to do that. They have to manage 150 people. Like,
Right.
cool, rock and roll. We're talking
Yeah.
about
I think we are talking about smaller churches, churches that are feeling the weight of,
probably less
like,
than 1,500 people.
yeah, and I think that churches that are feeling the weight of comparison, churches that
Yeah.
are feeling the weight of, I don't know what to do with my people or my teams, or I don't I don't know what I'm supposed to post on social media, or I don't know what I should highlight right now. I just ask God.
I,
I wish that didn't sound so stupid. Like, the times I want to just be like, yeah, what did God say about that?
how about this? How
Like,
about instead of trying to make your church look alive,
mm,
pray about what God wants you to do, what
yeah,
the direction is
yeah.
to help the church be alive. And
Why
then you'll
do
have the
we have
social
to say, why
content.
do we feel the need to say this? This is like, it makes me so frustrated with, like, how far away we've gotten, like, from what
The
matters.
simplicity.
Yeah.
It's convoluted.
Yeah. I think we've just really overcomplicated
Convoluted and
this.
overcomplicated.
Yeah.
I think for creatives,
Hmm.
communications, marketing, any of that side of this, stop focusing on how to make your church appear alive.
Hmm.
Pray to God, show up, help actually focus on what God is doing and how God is actually alive in your church and
Hmm.
your community. For pastors, build teams.
Mhm.
Build teams, empower people. I'm not saying hire
Build
people,
unified teams.
but if you build teams,
Mhm.
if you focus on building teams and you as the pastor are the shepherd, you bring people together who work together with a unified vision of we're going to reach that lost
Mhm.
person.
Going there right now. Yeah.
We're not following Starbucks or
Mhm.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
We want to reach the lost as a
And the
church
hurting and the poor and the
and
widows and the
scrap
yeah.
scrap the marketing plan. Just
Mhm.
scrap it and scrape it down. Fall silent on social media for a week. Look at what you're doing
Mhm.
and then come back once you know, okay, now we are unified that this is the purpose. The Great
Yeah.
Commission, the reaching the lost souls, that's the purpose, not selling a 6-pack of Coke. Once you get that like through, everybody's on the same page,
Mhm.
then go take content of what's happening in your church. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be anything crazy. You can have B-roll of people walking in, people
Mhm.
worshiping. It's so dumb easy that we've overcomplicated this
Yeah.
point of like, it's got to be planned out and it's got to, yes, it does need to be planned, but you can't start with a planned plan when you don't know how to make content. Once you're putting content out, then you start giving tools
Yeah.
to your people who are already out evangelizing at the
Yeah.
grocery stores, at the restaurants.
Yeah. I
Your
feel like
church
we
will
need
grow
to go ahead.
when you do that.
Yeah.
The awareness of your church will happen when people are like, hey, I'm going to this church. God is moving so hard. Every week, I'm just wrecked. Every week, our worship is amazing.
Mhm.
Every week, I have conversation with people that invigorates me to just go another week.
Mhm.
And it's not from your social media. It's not from you
Yeah.
as a church putting radio ads out or billboards.
Mhm.
It's so simple.
It's actually coming back to the heart of church. Being a church, being a pastor, being on teams has become a trendy thing versus a true calling. And that makes me nervous. When we have gone and we have needed to try churches out, when we've been looking for churches, when we've, made this move to Michigan, like
Mhm.
all of that, we've been in those seasons of like, okay, God, where do you want us? It makes me nervous that being a
Mm.
pastor is a trending thing to do. It makes me nervous that I can't trust a church's social media. And we've seen it firsthand. We walk in the door, what I said earlier, we walk in the
Mhm.
doors and I'm like, that was not true. That was not actually how it feels. This
Just
feels awkward. This
take when we
feels,
moved to Michigan.
hmm
There were 3 churches I can think of that
yeah.
we went into that
I was like,
no,
no, that is not,
no,
your
one of the
social media was
churches,
not a true indicator of,
it made their
yeah,
children's ministry look incredible. And we were like, I don't think I want to leave my kids here.
yeah.
Coming back to simplicity,
hmm and honesty. I
honesty,
think
but
being honest.
the pastor discipling
hmm
and creating discipleship that flows down the pastor to the people who are in leadership roles or the people who are the outreach or the people who are overly extroverted that are going to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
If the pastor disciples them, it trickles down.
hmm
When it's authentic, when it's
Yeah.
simple, when it's unconvoluted,
Yeah.
when we're going after the lost. Like
Yeah.
we are just loving people,
hmm
being kind, and trying to help people find
Yeah.
Jesus, to find salvation. That's as complicated as it gets. Sunday morning, way more complicated. A lot of production and a lot of kids and schedules and strategy, all of that. But the marketing, the communication, the outreach of the church is just dummy simple.
Yeah.
That maybe we should call this episode Dummy Simple.
I think so. Yeah. I think just to like recap, I mean, for me, what I feel like the main point for me is right now, and this is something that I'm talking to people about in real life. Like
Yeah.
this is such on my heart right now. So on my heart. Tell people what God is actually doing
Mm.
versus what he could potentially do.
Yeah.
God is capable and able to do amazing things. The Your church may experience an Azusa Street style revival. And if that happens, absolutely post about it. But if it's not happening, post about the coffee, Post about the bus ministry. Post about this Sunday school kids. Like
Post about the teenagers showing up early for church and hanging out in the lobby.
Post if you're doing pop-up church, post about the chairs being put out. Post about what God is actually doing. That is the thing that people are looking for, not an idea of what he's.
So be honest and authentic.
Yes. Why do we overcomplicate it? It's just, I don't know. You're not competing with Walmart or Target or Starbucks. You're not. They're going there for sales. They're going there for $8 coffees. They're going it's not the same. You are not competing with them.
But even small churches, you're not competing with the boutique down the road. You're not competing with the coffee shop or restaurant in town.
Okay, let's talk about this really quick. There's also this idea of I'm competing with other churches, right? Wow. So if there is a very cool and trendy and happening church down the street from me, I have to be as good as them on social media to get people in the doors.
Is that what the Bible says?
And I just think again, then it creates this weird church culture of competition. And I don't like that.
People see through that.
No, they do see through it. I know.
You said that earlier. People see through that, well, their church is doing that, but you're not. Why are you saying you are? It takes away trust.
I've always had and this is a personal issue more than anything. So let me just say, I'm not saying this is the right thing. We obviously, denominally, everyone feels like their church is the right one. I get that.
My beliefs are better than your beliefs.
Okay, so I don't want to get in the weeds on this because I don't personally I care what your church believes, but we all just need to love Jesus and people a little bit more. That is not my theological stance on life. Anyways, I don't understand for the moment, for the sake of this conversation, that's where I'm landing. I don't understand why when we see a church that's doing something good, amazing, effective, all of that, I don't understand why we don't try and partner together. Hey, we have this idea for outreach. Would you guys like to come with us? Hey, we have this idea for youth group. Can our youth groups do something together? Hey, we have this idea for whatever it may be. And I know that doesn't always work. I know that worship styles are different, and there are things that don't translate culturally, denominally, all the things.
Community-wise.
I'm not saying it's a fix for anything really, but can we get rid of that competition set? Not even comparison mindset, competition. My church is growing and I have more people than you.
Why are we doing that?
Drives me nuts. I've always thought it would be so cool to no, what if we just partner with
5
them?
different churches?
I have a problem with random churches popping up all over the place. I just want to be wait, are you actually called to start a church, or are you called to
be a pastor?
Church that's already there? Anyways, I'm gonna stop now. That's it. I'm really passionate about it. I feel like this was a perfect episode to jump back in on after a little hiatus. It was great.
This is something that just is in the flow of what we do every day.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish there were less churches that needed to hire us to figure out you know what I mean?
I know.
I wish there was less churches to hire us to do those random pieces when sometimes we get hired to do a job that it's not going to fix it.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
A rebrand doesn't necessarily.
Maybe we should just become consultants. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I think on that note, we should end this one because there's a whole other conversation brewing.
Yeah.
This felt really good to be back.
Yeah, thanks for talking with me about it.
I freaking love doing this with you. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Here
y'all are amazing. Have an amazing week. And do the little follow, share thing on all the spots all over. And you'll be seeing a lot more of us. Have an amazing week.
Bye, guys.
Talk to you later.